All right, let's get started. I'm Jared Salve. I'm one of the career counselors in Law Career Services. Before coming here, I was a litigator for a number of years, including at a small firm of about 15 lawyers. Something like half of all lawyers at some point in their career will work at a small firm. And a huge number of those, 75–80%, are actually at small firms with 25 or fewer attorneys. Yet the lion's share of attention in media, in books, at law schools, some of them, for example, like the one I went to, are focused on the big firms, including the mega firms that have hundreds or even thousands of lawyers. The purpose of today's presentation is to give you an inside perspective on this often neglected subject matter, which may have a direct bearing on your own future careers. And so we've assembled a team of insiders here to report to you about life at small firms, both from a business standpoint, but also from a career standpoint. And as a side note, each of our panelists are transactional lawyers, so if that's an area that interests you, I think you'll get a lot out of this presentation as well. So let's start by hearing from our panelists. If you would, if you could tell us a little bit about where you work and the kind of law that you do. And Cecily, we'll start with you.
Well, thank you very much, Jared. My name is Cecily Dumont, and let me start with a question to you all. Are you second year law students, third year, first year? Second year. Third. So some of you are actually going to be going out on the job market pretty soon. Okay. Well, it's bleak. It is bleak, but there is hope, and we will try to help you navigate your way through that. So first, a bit about myself. I am a Golden Gate Law School graduate, class of, never mind, but a while back. I am the principal and founder of an 11-lawyer firm called Friedman, Dumont and Springwater. It was founded in 2003 as an offshoot from a larger specialty boutique commercial law and bankruptcy law firm that was being acquired by a mega firm, which is a trend that we'll be talking about, the consolidation of large law firms. My background has been in commercial litigation, switching over to corporate bankruptcy practice, which, if none of you have taken Professor Gebbia's class, is and you'll hear more about this from David, is an interesting practice area because it involves every type of skill: negotiating skills, contract drafting skills, litigation skills, because everything that an operating company does in bankruptcy is within court supervision. And I really like it. So our firm, which started as 3 people leaving our old law firm, has grown to 11, and we think that's a good size, and we can talk more about why I think that after we've done our other panelists.
Hi, my name is Brian Beverly, and it was unbelievably 30 years since I graduated from Golden University, so it's a pleasure being back in this capacity. And so after I graduated, I spent about 10 years in small firms in the East Bay, practicing a variety of things, mostly real estate and construction law. I did some family law, which I enjoyed, and then I decided I'd put my engineering background to work. And in 1994, I moved to Oakland, and next in a suite of offices with other people that practiced intellectual property, and I became a registered patent attorney. And a couple of those people and I then formalized our relationship in 2002 and became Easton Skinner Beverly. And so what we do is we're all registered patent attorneys, and we obtain patents and maintain them and advise our clients with respect to protecting patents and other intellectual property. We have an active very active trademark practice, obtaining trademarks, advising our clients with respect to their branding. We also do a little bit of copyright work. We don't do a lot of litigation because most of what we do is we're busy, very busy doing just the transactional side of obtaining patents and trademarks. We do, if for our existing clients, if they run into trouble, what we'll try to do is get them out of it. So we will go to court, but if it's something big, we'll pass it off to one of the firms that we have a relationship with. But it's a very rewarding practice. It was good for me because I had the science background and I also could write. So the combination of skills works out really well in intellectual property. So I'll pass off to David.
Sure. I'm David Herzog. I'm an associate at Pinnacle Law Group. Pinnacle is an 8-attorney firm, full-service firm, and we do have a couple of bankruptcy attorneys there, although sadly I'm not one of them, but we do have a couple there. Some business litigators. I do the transactional work, so my practice is a general business practice. So it's corporate governance, it's transactions, it's commercial real estate, it's sort of whatever my business clients need on any given day and moment. That's what I'm doing for them. If they get into some deep trouble and it's turning into litigation, I can turn it over to somebody else at my firm. I graduated Golden Gate in '93. 93 was not a wonderful year to graduate, and so I immediately found and I graduated middle of my class. So this is what happens for middle of your class for somebody who wasn't really very well connected in the Bay Area. I ended up immediately in my own little solo practice with a combination of doing contract work for some attorneys, and then finding myself getting a couple of clients off of I don't know if any of you, this might be before any of your day, I don't know if he's still out there, but Jim Rogers, an attorney in the Bay Area, does a lot of personal injury work, and he may still do that. He used to advertise very, very late at night. He was known for that. And he also ran for political office in the Bay Area. So I was on his recording system. I did not do PI work, and so people would call him at all hours of the night, leave messages, and his recording system, not that you ever call it, if you don't want to do, if you're not a personal injury client, please press da-da-da-da for estate planning. Please press 3 for da-da-da. For everyone else, press 9. I got everybody else, which meant that these were completely uncategorizable kind of lawsuits, but I took them. And that was sort of a creative way of getting my feet wet. The first thing you basically want to do is get your E&O insurance, and then you get your feet wet doing that kind of thing. And then eventually, worked for myself, then a couple of small firms, and found myself a Pinnacle. And that's kind of the gist of where I am now. So the perspective I bring here is not necessarily as a partner / owner of a firm, but as an associate.
Great. Well, let's jump right in and talk about work-life balance at small firms. When we hear about big firms, we often hear about long hours, face time on the weekends. Someone who worked for 5.5 years at a big firm, I can tell you that a lot of that is true, unfortunately. But I'm curious to hear about what it's like at small firms. Is it the same sort of phenomenon, or is there a different work-life balance when it comes to working in small firms? Cecily, you want to start?
Sure. There is, and it really, small firms are, later in the outline, there's a discussion topic about how much more the people matter, because you're working with a small group, 3 or 4 or 10, and personalities, the people that you're working with, you have a much kind of more regular interaction. So I can only speak for my firm, because it is women-owned. I think we have a total of like 6 women. Oh, I'm sorry, we're now 10, because one of our partners was just elevated to a judgeship, just found out. So we're 10 lawyers, but it's about 4 men, 6 women. All of us have children. even the male associates. And in our firm, we believe in a very high quality work product. I mean, you have to do really good work or else you will never get clients. So that's the stopping point. But beyond that, we don't care when you get your work done. There is no, the big firm, leave a cup of steaming coffee at your desk at 7 p.m. as you leave so somebody will think you're just down the hall. If people in my firm, if you have to go to a parent-teacher conference at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can do that. So the work-life balance is, primary is your work has to be good. And by that I mean you have to be able to write well. And if any of you don't write well, you should not be looking for a job in a law firm. That's the number one thing. If you never remember anything else I say, your writing has to be very good because that's our primary mode of communication. But beyond that, there's much more teamwork than in a big firm, and it's much more balanced.
Yeah, I would echo that. I would say that working in a large firm, which I never had the opportunity to do, but how many of you have heard that the large firms want your soul? I mean, you know. So,
Show of hands.
Show of hands, yeah. So, I've heard that, and in a large firm, I understand that you get assigned lots of projects, and when you're starting out, they give you document review, or you're going to be given a deposition to go over, or whatever. And you never get to see a client, and you're working in some room cranking away, and you got to build a lot. They want to see lots of billable hours because that's the heart and soul of a large firm. In a small firm, there's a real lifestyle advantage. But instead of trying to put in long hours and bill and bill and bill and impress your partners with how smart you are and how hardworking you are, you have to work for the clients in a small firm. And if you, that's where the pressure comes from. I'm not sure that the hours are any less. There's certainly more flexibility. You can go when you want, and I think that I hear what you're saying a lot is that time is more flexible. But we have to make money, and you're going to get the work done in the morning or the afternoon or the evening, and I've probably worked more Saturdays in the last 20 years than not. So you really have to put in the time. But on the upside, you get a lot of interaction with clients, and you're working directly with the clients. And my experience is that I've been able to form long-standing relationships with people. You're working hand in glove, making strategic decisions. It is a collaboration, much more so than in a large firm experience where you can do, all you do is bill. And I heard a story about a famous, one of the treatise authors, Roger Milgram, and he related an experience where he worked in a large firm in New York, and they were working on $100 million mergers all the time. And they gave him the job, and they just turned over every stone. They did everything. And it was great because you could do whatever you felt you needed to do. But then he went to work for himself, kind of like us. And the deals were all of a sudden $1 million deals. And you couldn't turn over every stone. You had to make decisions about what am I going to do? What am I not going to do? How much can my client afford? What are the client's expectations? Is he getting nervous? How much do I bill? And we don't bill as much as the big firms. But if you make smart decisions and you work with your client and you don't gallop and you produce good results and you can write well, which is really critically important, you'll do fine. And there's always room for people that can do that. So I do want to send out some encouragement in that regard.